Hey there, Board Game Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table like this one here. It's Bullseye, a new party game by 25th Century Games. Now, this is a great party game for those who, like me, usually don't like party games, but just once in a while, you get one of the ones that you like to play and you want to have for when you have a bigger group of people. And if you're a fan of Just One, the game Just One, like I am, then, you will love the added twist that Bullseye has that hits right in the middle. Bullseye is played in rounds, and in each round, a player is labeled as the archer. And all other players are giving the archer clues. They're clue givers about a certain word or a phrase. So this is a cooperative type party game, and players will write clues written for each player, but one letter at a time. The big twist in this is that before you add another letter to your clue, you will pass your board and write the next letter on the clue that someone else started. You will then add the next letter to the clue that you think someone else has started and keep on moving around, and the archer's trying to guess the word. Not only does the archer need to guess the word or the phrase based on the partial clues that they're getting, but you need to figure out the clues that your teammates started so that you can, continue helping the archer with getting those clues. It's a game where everyone is guessing. Each player will have a dry erase board, so the arrow is pointing to the left. This target board is placed in the middle of the table. The deck of cards are then shuffled and ready to be used, forming, this deck. Then you will choose who is the archer for the first round. The archer draws 2 category cards and chooses one of them that they'd like to proceed with. The category determines that possible word or phrase that the archer is trying to guess. This card is given to the player to the left, and they will be the clue giver who chooses the target word. This player will need to think of a word that matches the category that they think everyone in the group would know, that they would be able to help the archer guess. And this is shared with everyone except the archer. So everyone knows the word except for the one guessing it. But this is the word or phrase that the archer is ultimately trying to guess. Each of the clue givers then think of a clue related to that target word, and they will all write the first letter on the leftmost spot of their dry erase board, and then they turn their arrow face down. The clue can be any words with letters, abbreviations, even acronyms. They're all acceptable. And the clue can be of any length, but the arrow is limited to 5 spaces. Clues now cannot contain part of the target word. Symbols and punctuations are also not allowed. Numbers cannot be used. If you want to, have a clue with a number in it, then you'll have to spell it out. Once everyone has written a letter, one letter at a time, clues are then revealed at the same time, and the archer then looks at all the arrows and either makes a guess or passes. When passing, the clue givers all pass their arrows, their boards, clockwise to the next player, and again secretly write down the next letter in the sequence of that clue. You will be continuing the clue someone else started. You have to think of, what clue another player was trying to give without talking or asking them. You have to figure this out with only the letter that they wrote down. If a clue giver doesn't know, what the clue might be intended to spell, then they can write an underscore line in that letter box instead of a letter. So that's all they would do. If a clue giver receives a board with an underscore, place that someone else previously placed, then they can fill in with a letter in addition to adding their letter to that word, kind of catching up with the clue. If the clue giver completes a word with the last letter, then they draw a vertical line between the last letter and the next empty space, and this is indicated that this word is completed. And the next clue giver can then, begin a new clue in the next letter box. So small clues can be helpful. Clue givers continue writing letters, revealing and passing until the archer makes a guess. When making a guess, if the archer thinks that they know what the target word is, then they may take a guess. If the guess is correct, then they mark the group's points on the ring on the target board according to how many letters that they have been placed out so far. Remember, the fewer turns you take, the more points that you'll score. If the archer gets it wrong, then the round is over and no points are scored. You will mark the outer ring, indicating that the archer missed. Now a new round begins with a new archer, and you all go at it again with a new card, a new word, a new target word. The game ends when everyone has been the archer twice if you're playing with 3 to 5 players, and if everyone has played it once if you're playing with 6 to 8 players, or really, you can play for fun continuing on and on if you'd like. When ending, though, you'll circle the top 5 scores and add those up, and that's your final score as a team. You can compare these scores to the skill tally marks here to know how well you did. And, well, that's Bullseye here, the word party game where everyone is guessing. This is, again, one of those games that just makes me, makes sense of how they do it. It isn't, too complicated. It's like one of those ideas that you're like, dang, I wish I would have thought of that, because it just makes sense to play a game like this. It just goes together so well. I mean, everyone is engaged in the game. Everyone's involved. The archer has the main focus on, putting everything together and actually guessing the word. They're the one who's going to win or lose the round for the team. But that doesn't mean that, all the other players are off the hook and not doing anything. And sometimes even, some of the other players might save another player to help in this, team-based game that they might be struggling to help with. The first thing that I see is that even though you might not think of, the letter or whatever the clue is trying to give, the next player can save you and, fill in that spot for free, catching you all back up to the current round of those clues. Second, sometimes you, place a letter down thinking that, it's a certain clue or maybe a matching clue as someone else, so you're trying to think of the same word. Well, the next player can then be creative and change the clue with another letter to make it a different clue or a better clue. Now, this is easier said than done, of course, but there are ways to swing things to a better path and not just sit back and watch things, ride and die. Next, the archer also might figure out, one of the clues, but might not have enough to piece everything together yet. But once they have a good idea of what most of the clues are, then it's like bing, bang, boom. You feel super special that you were able to piece all those things, everything together, just to guess the word and be correct. This might happen with 2, 3, 4 letters be written down as your clues are going. And doing it with 1 letter is possible, but it really depends on the group of people and the category chosen. And if everyone knows each other very well or not, then you might actually do very well in this game like that. It's a better game when playing with closer family and friends rather than new people that you just met as well, just because of clues and knowing, what other people are thinking. It feels great when, all the clue givers are on the same wavelength and continue with the clues given, but also fun to see how the clues change on rounds to see, if the archer can get it right. The game includes great components. The party game hits right on theme, actually, which is fun with Bullseye and the archer. You keep score on the Bullseye board, so that's in theme. It's easy to teach, super fun to play, and rivals my favorite party game, just one. So if that's not a good reason to pick up this game and check it out, I'm not sure what else to do for you, Again, Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table like this one, Bullseye by 25th Century Games. It's a party game, word game. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring to you videos like this one so you know if these games here are ones that you want to get to your own table.